Hello and welcome or welcome back to Yarn Tea and Books. My name is Tasha, and along with my husband, we are the humans behind Frogget Yarns, Hand-Dyed Yarns, and Mobile Yarn Truck. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. This is episode 30 of the podcast, so that's pretty exciting. We've been doing this, we've had 30 regular podcast episodes, not counting the special ones. So I'm happy to be back this week. It's been a week. It's been stressful. It is my normal day. I'm still filming on Thursday, but it is 2:45 in the afternoon. Typically I film first thing in the morning, but we are tag teaming, babysitting our 3 grand dogs. And that was not in the plan, not in the cards. But yeah, plans fell through for our children, and our older son and his fiance are currently in Italy for 2 weeks. They have a giant dog, and their babysitter or dog sitter fell through. So they brought their dog to my daughter and her husband's house. They have 2 dogs of their own. So Corey and Em are in Italy. My daughter and her husband left this morning for Tahoe. So yeah, it's been a week. I was over there first thing this morning to feed them because they left really, really early. So I went over this morning, feed them, let them out, play with them, hang out, came home. Now Mr. Frogget just left to go over, and he will spend the evening, and then he'll sleep over there tonight with them. So it's just been a week. There's other life stuff going on that's just been taking up a lot of brain space. I've been busy in the studio, but yeah. So wow, what a welcome. All that to say, I'm so glad that you're back and joining me this week. This week I do have some FOs, one pretty epic one to be specific. We'll talk about a little bit of shop news. There's a little bit of book chat, some pretty exciting life news, which I will share. So if you're interested in hearing that, it's not going to take long, but it is an exciting announcement. So yeah, there's been a new cast on, so there's a new whip. But first, we'll start with Mugwatch. And I told you last week that I had acquired 2 new mugs. This is the second one. This one I actually got in Michigan when we were out there for the Michigan Fiber Festival. And they have a cute little town on Lake Michigan that we love to visit called South Haven. And they have a Polish pottery store. And I love Polish pottery. I do collect it. And so I couldn't resist this one with the cute little pink flowers. So that's my Polish pottery mug. We have a Polish pottery outlet close to us here in PA. So I love going there and getting a new mug. I have a beautiful teapot from Polish pottery. So that's my other new mug. Actually, I lied. I did order a new, it's a travel mug. So does that count? I'll show you that when I get it. Yeah, so that's Mugwatch. I can't link it. It's Polish pottery. If there's one near you, go visit. I don't know if they have online ordering for any of these, but that's my new mug for this week. Got it in Michigan. So that will take us into finished objects. And we'll start with the one that has kind of been the most frustrating, and that is my Grove Shawl. It is done. It is all done. And I'll talk about this Frankenstripe in a minute. So here's where I cast on. You do all the increases, all of the fading. It's 4 colors. There's the middle. And then you fade back down to the other point. So I used our Yak DK, which is a merino wool a super fine merino wool yak and silk blend. It's very lovely. Yeah, super next to skin, just perfect. I want this as a sample in the trailer. And if you've been following along, then you heard my rant last week. So I'm not going to get all that ranty. All I will say is when I got through color 2 to come back into color 1, I knew I was going to run out. I think I said that last week. There wasn't going to be enough. When I got to the end of this row, right here, I had to add in. So I took the last little dregs of color 3, this dark mahogany, tied a magic knot to finish out this row. I was still a stripe short, which is 2 rows, right? Over and back, still a stripe short. So I had a little bit more left over of color 4, which I also showed you that ball last week. So did another magic knot, and I was able to add in that last stripe. Now, you might be asking yourself, what's the big deal to just eliminate this stripe? The big deal is I was continuously running out of yarn. If I had eliminated this stripe, I would have also had to eliminate this stripe because technically I did not have enough of color 2 to go across and back. That's why I had to add in the last little dregs of color 3 to get the whole way back. If I had skipped these 2, I wouldn't have had enough of color 1 because this is all I have left. Again, my scale does not even register its weight. That's it. That's all I have left of color 1. This is our tea rose color. And I just knew every time I was getting, low on from one color to the next, if you just eliminate that stripe, then you're just adding, technically you're adding that stripe into the next color, and so on and so on. So out of 4 full skeins of Yak DK, each skein has 246 yards. That is all I have left. Now, I have not blocked this. I'm going to check my gauge before I block it. I'm going to check my pre-blocking gauge. Then I'm going to block it. It's garter, so I'm not going to do any kind of stretching it out. I'm just going to, I might actually even, after it comes out of the spin dryer, I might pop it into my tumble dryer on like an air setting just to help facilitate that drying process. And then I'll check post-blocking gauge. I'm just going to lay it out. It's not going to be any stretching. I'm going to look at the measurements, make sure that I'm getting the measurements and see what my post-blocking gauge is. If my gauge is on, then I am going to, I think, leave a message for the designer on her Ravelry page and just say, you may want to consider letting people know that if they're using less yardage than what you used, they're not going to have enough. So it's a great sample. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. It's going to be big, like wide enough to go, across my back and wrap around my shoulders. It's going to be lovely for fall. And we are having some amazing, like false fall weather this past week. It's been only highs in the 70s. Nights are in the 50s. It's glorious. I'm eating it up. So this will be perfect to have. Again, like I said last week, my issue is to have this in my truck. I'm going to have to sell the yarn with a caveat of like, you'll barely have enough. You'll have to eliminate stripes. You may have to not make it as wide, like maybe you eliminate rows and you don't go to the full stitch count. I hate doing that with a sample. I hate having to say, oh, you can do it, but you'll have to make modifications. That's not the point of a sample. The point of a sample is to be able to say, yes, I use this yarn. I use this many skeins. If you check your gauge and you're on gauge, you can do it too. But it is done. Overall, I love it. It's so nice and squishy. It's gonna be amazing. So it's done. It'll be in the truck. I'm not happy about it, but it'll be in the truck. And again, that is all I have left. I'm not even going to keep it. But again, I couldn't even weigh it. So I don't know. My scale is not like super precise. I can weigh a couple of grams. This doesn't tack. So the Grove Shawl is done. I am happy with my color choices. I am happy with, there's my Frankenstripe. I'm not happy with that, but we'll look at the pretty side. I'm happy with the way they all flow into each other and into that middle. So she's done. And that's that. The next thing that I finished is a spin. So this was the first bobbin from my spin on my new Daedalus spinning wheel. So this is fiber from Lair of the Llama. It is a wool and viscose blend. The viscose is the Tweety Neps. So that bobbin is done. And I am currently spinning bobbin number 2, which is a fiber from the Yarn Adventure truck. And I'm pretty sure she said this is Shaniko wool and the viscose, like the neps. These neps are multicolored and these neps are all like blacks and grays. So I'm going to apply them together when they're done. And Mr. Frogget has already claimed this skein of hand spun when it's done. So spinning that on my Daedalus, still loving the spin on this. And yeah, my goal is to get that finished possibly before we leave for our next show. And then I can take a new spin with us for that show. So that's my spinning. Technically it's not finished, but the bobbin is finished. So it's still a whip, but this bobbin's also done. So it counts. The next thing I finished is my September Granny Square. Now this, if you're watching this the day it comes out, it is Saturday, August 30th. All of the retail orders for September's Lily Pad Club have been sent. They were sent today, which is Thursday, the 28th. There's a very good chance that some of you already have your yarn. So if you don't want to see, I'm going to show the square. I'm going to show the finished yarn and show the square. So if you don't want to see, then close your eyes. I'll let you know when I'm done showing it. Okay, so spoiler alert. If you don't want to see and you want to be surprised, close your eyes now. Here's my finished Granny Square. Oh, it's so good. It's so fun. So our book cover for September is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Look at the square. So this is the main color through here. Here is our adorable little charm by Kelsey. These are sold out. Look at the starfish. The charms are sold out. They sold out really quick. We even had extras. So that's my square. Let me show you the finished yarn. So don't look yet. Here it is on DK. And here it is on fingering. Oh, so comes with this mini. And that's, whoops, that's the set. Okay, spoilers gone. You may look. So that's my finished Granny Square. I'm very happy with it. I think they are the perfect colors for the end of summer. I'm very, very happy with the way that came out. I hope that you all love it. Like I said, they're all on their way. Mr. Froggett left and took them up to our postman, Dan, and he has never let us down, and they're all on their way. So there's a good chance that some of you may have them. If you do not have your yarn and you peaked, you still have time to order it. It does not close until Sunday, August 31st at about 11:45 p.m. Eastern time. So if you saw it and you're like, oh, I want some, or oh, I want some more, you still have time. My last whip is also a new cast on. It is living in this cute little bag by Birch Grove. Look at the tea and books. Oh, so cute. Unfortunately, she has paused. She's a Canadian dyer and bag maker. Unfortunately, she has paused all of her sales to the US because of all of the stuff that's going on. So I feel very lucky to have that. So I cast on in our new Yarn Hero collab yarn. I'm so excited. I wound up my cake and I cast on for a pair of socks. So I have something to show people. So I cast on and you can see, oh, her progression of color changes is impeccable. Like it's barely noticeable. Like now, you know, it's more green and purple versus up here where it was a little more gold and yellow. And you can see the little purple flecks. It's so gradual. So I'm moving into, you can kind of see under here, the next color is going to be that lighter bit of purple. I'm loving it. So I think for my second sock, also, I need to show you my little ghosty Coco. Come on. Kelsey surprised me with that when she sent the book shipment. She sent me a little present, and that was part of it. Thank you so much, Kelsey. So I think for my second sock, I'm going to start and pull from the middle just so that it's kind of, they're going to be cousins, not sisters. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I don't know how much more of the leg I'm going to do. Probably I want it to be about 6 or 7 inches before I throw in my heel. So she actually sent all of the mill ends with, so whatever was left over at the end of the bobbins, she goes until there's none left. So this was actually a skein of mill ends, but it was only 2 or 3 grams shy of her threshold. So all of her skeins are between 95 and 100 grams. This was like 92 or 93 grams. So it's close enough to a full skein that I feel confident to use it as a sample because it'll have pretty much all of the colors in it. So that's what I'm using. I did not open, you know, a new skein. I'm using a mill end for my sample, but loving the way this is working up. And it feels so nice. So that's my new cast on and whip, just to have something on my needles that I can bring out and say, here is an example of one way that it could work up, because literally every skein is going to be different. They're not all going to start at the same color. They're not all going to end at the same color. That's what makes them amazing. So that's my newest whip. Yeah, and that's it. I literally finished the shawl on Tuesday night. Yeah, I think I cast it off Tuesday night. I was just determined, head down, audiobook in, get it done. And yesterday was just crazy work day. Yeah, there's just a lot of life stuff going on. So Yeah, I haven't worked on anything else other than I cast on those socks, and I've just been doing a lot of spinning. So that's it for whips. Did I even say we were in whips? We're in whips, but that's it for whips. I've not worked on anything else. That's just the way it is. So that'll take us to shop news. Like I said, for shop news, if you have not gotten club, your pre-order, and you peeked and saw that and you want some or you want more, you have until Sunday, August 31st. I usually set the listing to be unavailable at 11:45 p.m. Eastern time, because I can only do like quarter. I can't do like 11:59. My software doesn't let me do that. So about 11:45 p.m. on Sunday night, Eastern time, the listing will go away, and that'll be it. The only places you'll be able to get it would be the 3 yarn shops that carry it. And they're always linked and tagged in my color reveal post. So you got an early color reveal. I won't reveal the color to Instagram until Monday the 1st. So that's September club pre-orders. I did the first round of test for the weekly advents for the Dream Harbor series. I think there's only one that I'm going to redo. I have not gone down to peak at the dry skeins. I did them yesterday. I did the first test batches yesterday. I've not gone down yet to peak because, like I said, it's been a crazy busy day. So I'm going to go down after I finish recording, grab a skein of each. I think there's definitely one that I'm going to want to redo. I also finished all of the testing for the Charlie Brown advent, and that is perfectly the way I want it. So I just have to do the next round of dyeing for that. And yeah, if the weeklies are good, other than that one color, once the recipes are done, like I keep saying, once the recipes are made, dyeing the rest of them are easy. So it's just development. The only thing that I'll need to do is test for the main skein of our Fourth Wing inspired advent, which I already know what I want to do. I just have to get the colors on the yarn. So that's pretty easy. Once that's out of my brain and the testing for advents is finished, then I am going to start developing this year's Halloween collection. So stay tuned for that. The Halloween collection is coming. We have a cute and cozy theme this year. I'm really excited about it. So I hope you're excited too. I'll be revealing that in the coming weeks. Our next in-person event is the Endless Mountains Fiber Festival. That is a Pennsylvania show for us, so it's a home show. It is in New Milford, Pennsylvania, which is Scranton area. So it's north, very close to the New York state line. I think they said they have about 75 vendors this year. It grows a little bit every year, which is great. So that's where we'll be next weekend, September 6th and 7th. We will be in person at that festival, and maybe we'll see some of you there. That would be really exciting. That's it for shop news. When the Halloween collection is ready, I will let everybody know. It'll be in the newsletter. It'll be on the podcast. It'll be on our socials. I do try to have that out by mid-September. That way you have time to make something if you want to have it for Halloween. I do try to put it out just a little bit early. Once Halloween is developed, then my brain will switch to the Christmas collection. So always got to be ahead of the game. But that's it for shop news, and that will lead us into life news. And our family is happy to announce that our son, Corey, he's our oldest son, but our middle child, He has proposed to his girlfriend and she said yes. So we are thrilled. He did it in Italy on a boat. Like, way to show up, everybody, Corey. He hired a photographer to film the whole thing. They sent me a little video clip of it. And once I get some pictures, I can share them here. But he has proposed, so we have a wedding to look forward to sometime next year, and we are thrilled. So we already love Emily. We were already going to adopt her, whether Corey proposed or not. So that is why their dog, Bo, is staying with our daughter and her husband's dogs. It's just been a whole thing. But that's all my life news. Our son finally proposed. She said yes, so he is now officially engaged, and we are looking forward to that. So that will take us to book chat. And for book chat, I finished a couple of books. So last week I was reading The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. I mostly did this via audiobook. There were a few nights where I did, read physically, but it was a combo. The audiobook was really good. Listen, this is fantasy. Do I want to say, yes, there's a romance, but it's not romantasy where the romance is the plot. And this is hilarious. So this is fantasy rom-com. That's the best way I can put it. The voice actors were brilliant. It is, it's not duet, it's dual. So, they switched off and on for chapters, but they did so well and it had me laughing out loud so many times. And the ending was so good. I think there is another one. In fact, I hope there is another one because it was kind of not a cliffhanger, but it's not finished by any means. So this was really good. Highly recommend it. Definitely recommend the audio version if you can get it because it was hilarious. A much needed break from epic fantasy and world building. There's no world building other than to tell you it is a fantasy version of London. So I love when authors do that because you don't have to imagine this world. You can just be oh, it's London. You don't have to imagine fake places and names. So really, really good. I also started and finished in about 3 days our September book. I started early thinking, I haven't read a typical romance rom-com in years. So I wasn't sure if it was going to grab me, if I was going to have to switch gears to get into it. So our September book is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. And I loved it. I spent the last, 50 pages in a puddle. Definitely take the tissues. This is not rom-com. I wouldn't consider this a rom-com. Words. I did the audio version of this. Spotify had it. I already paid for Spotify, so it was basically free. And this is duet. So our male and female main characters are both read by a male and female voice narrator. And very well done. Love that. But this was not your typical, they fall in love and they live happily ever after. There were a lot of struggles. Yeah, there were a lot of struggles for this couple. And I don't want to give too much away, but I think it says in the, does it say in here what she's, no. So our main character, Samantha, our main female character, is dealing with a family crisis you know, within her family. And that was hard to read. That was hard to read, to follow the progression of this disease in her mother. It was hard to read. Can you see the heat flash coming on? I am literally turning pink. So that was hard to read. I did a lot of crying, but I loved it. 5 stars. If Abby Jimenez writes all her books like this, I think I'll enjoy them. I did get one from a little free library while we were on vacation. I got Yours Truly. So now I'm excited to kind of read that. I'll probably pass this one on to my daughter. She loves to read romance. And I'll see if she's read it and if she would like to read it. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So those are the 2 books that I finished. I started To You at the Altar by Rebecca Thorne. This is book 3 in the Tomes and Tea series. These are cozy fantasies, and I read book 1 and 2, and this is one of my favorite cozy fantasy series. And when I found out that book 4 is the last one, I was really putting off finishing this series because I don't want it to be over. I really do enjoy it. But I finally decided, just read it. I keep putting this on my TBRs and then taking it off because I don't want it to be over. But I did start To You at the Altar. And these are just a fun, cozy, low stakes, good time. I also thought I would share with you the start of my September TBR. This will probably be done. It's Thursday. I'll probably finish this by Sunday. So that'll still be August. I have picked out 3 so far. Well, other than our September book, which I read in 3 days, that I want to read in August or in September. I still want to pick out a middle grade book. I have a whole shelf dedicated to middle grade. So I do want to go have a look, see what pulls me in. I do like to read a middle grade in amongst all my other ones because it's something different. So the first one that I want to read in September is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. This is part of the Dream Harbor series, and I was lucky enough to snag this deluxe edition. And this is part of our weekly advent. So I'm really excited to see what the yarn looks like for this. So I want to read that in September. I also want to read Of Blood and Aether. This is by Harper Hawthorne, and this is book 1 in the Harbingers series. Pretty sure this is Indie Pub. So I would like to read that. And then the next one that I picked is Neverthorn by Shannon Mayer. And this is book 1. I don't know the name of the series, but I know this is like fantasy magic school type of setting. So look at the beautiful artwork. I love when we get that. So I'm looking forward to this. Look at that. So cool. I didn't even see that. Yeah. So those are the 3 so far that I've picked out for September. We'll see what else I pick. Like I said, there will be a middle grade added in. And yeah, I think that might be it. Is that it? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Oh, okay. Well, at least it's not an hour this week, folks. Will we see any of you next weekend at the Endless Mountains Fiber Festival? If you're going to be in the area, come out. It's a great little show. Lots of nice vendors, lots of different vendors. So we would love to see you. So if you're going to be there, let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, make sure you stop in to the trailer. We're always parked right at the entrance where everybody comes in and out. So you can't miss us. What else? What are you making with your September yarn? Did you get club yarn? If you got club yarn, let me know what you're making. I know a lot of people are making a granny square blanket like I am. And actually, now that this is done, I can join July, August, and September. Here's August. Here's July. I can join the 3 of them together and then join it to the big blanket. And then I only have one more row. I have all of the rest of the club for the year developed. I have October's wound up. It is caked up. It is in my bag, ready to start that granny square. And I have November and December's already dyed and developed and ready to go. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, so let me know what you're making if you got club yarn or what you're working on in general. Are you making a Rhinebeck sweater? I have come to the conclusion that my Rhinebeck sweater plans will not be happening. I could possibly finish my Douglas Cardi and wear that to Rhinebeck. That's a plan. But the pink one that I wanted to make, I don't think it's happening. It's September. I cannot finish a sweater in 6 weeks. Not with my schedule and the travel and the dyeing. Not going to happen. So, and that's okay. I have other sweaters I can wear. Nobody's going to know that I didn't make a Rhinebeck sweater, and nobody's going to care. But if you're making a Rhinebeck sweater, let me know what you're making. Are you making the official Andrea Mowry one? Are you making something else? I'd love to hear about it. So that's all I have for you this week. Please make sure that if you like what you're seeing and you like coming to chat with me, that you're subscribed. We're a little over 300, and that's a great number. That's a number that I'm very happy with. And yeah, I'd love to see that grow if possible. Make sure you give the video a like if you liked it. And all that to say that I'll see you next week. Right back here. Same time, same place. Please remember to take care of yourself, take care of each other, and until then, happy making. Bye.